and gentlemen, what's happening? Welcome to another edition of The Player and the Fan. I am yours truly, David Noel. I am the player, the coach, whatever you want to call it now. And Quierra, my co-host. What's happening, man? What's going on?
What's going on? We got some basketball going on. That I mean,
man, finally. As my boy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson say, finally.
I mean, we got lots of
has come. You know, a lot of it too. I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's been wall to wall packed.
Yeah,
I like it.
Starting at 4 p.m., ending at like midnight, like
easy.
And it's like ranked teams too. It's not like you watching subpar basketball.
Right. They really got to it this year. I mean, they normally come out the gates with some, the Champions Classic and all that kind of stuff, but this been some heavy hitting basketball like right away.
It has.
I'm enjoying this season. Like this, and we are, like, as they say, we're all thankful to even have basketball in this type of form. So definitely excited. Excited.
I wonder if I'm getting the feeling that the NCAA is wide open this year. I mean, just watching it, basketball, I just feel like, of course, you have your regular players who, always float to the top, but I could see like, a shocker come March, ideally, if we have a March.
You think so? You don't think?
I've been seeing a lot of high-ranked teams go down. So, it is showing that preseason and exhibition and scrimmages are definitely needed.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I am not so like, over here like pulling my hair out about my Tar Heels going down today.
Right. And today is Wednesday after the Maui Invitational, where Carolina to Texas 69-67.
Yeah. There is, you know what? I got a lot to say about that game, but we'll get into that game a little bit later. So what we are going to kick it off with, though, is them bums 8 miles down the road losing. That's all. I don't care about nothing else. Long as them bums lose, it's a good day for me. It just rubbed me because I don't get to talk jump for about a couple hours, because then we turn around and lose. But that's all right, though. I got it in a little bit last night. I only made one comment, a little slick one. That's it. I ain't take it too far last night. What you think about that game?
I thought it was a pretty good game. Michigan State came back. They were down at 4 going into the half, and they only outplayed Duke by 2 points in the second half. So, Duke didn't necessarily fall off. Michigan State just got better, literally by 1 point. Matthew Hurt was a star for Michigan. Matthew Hurt was a star for Duke with 21 points. And Coach K had multiple players in double digits, but Michigan State just wanted it more.
See, my thing is, and now mind you, I watched the game closely, and I feel like Duke, they just couldn't. It was kind of like us today. They couldn't hit the 3 ball.
Yeah.
And that hurt them bad. And Michigan State just kept dumping it inside. What's my man name? Big fella. Is it Bingham? I think it was Bingham. No, it wasn't Bingham. What's his name? I can't think of big fella name. It was Marble. He had a big game for them on the inside, and that's something that I think is gonna hurt Duke this year. But if they can make shots, they'll be able to make up for it. So we'll see how them bums continue to progress throughout the season. Jalen Johnson looked good though.
What's funny, as I was watching Duke, I don't know if it's the camera crazies that's missing, but I just did not get the same feeling. It just didn't feel like a Duke team. I was like, I knew who the players were, but there wasn't that, I don't know. Something was missing. They missing something.
Absolutely agree with that. I turned on the game and was like,
Yeah.
Like, not Duke. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. like this don't look right. Like this don't even feel right. But at the end of the day, again, we have college basketball, and that's probably more than we can ask for, especially during these times. Just time to, watch these kids go out and be able to give it their all one, but also do something that they love to do, that they've been wanting to do for so long now. And again, best of luck to all of the teams this year. And we'll again continue to see how each team progress. It didn't surprise me that they lost. It's like, again, we talked about it earlier, how important these preseason games are, that you didn't get a chance to play. These scrimmages are that you didn't get a chance to play. And guys are just really rolling. Coaches say it left and right in their interviews. We don't know who we are with yet. It's going to take us about 10, 12 games. We don't know who we are yet, where you had the preseason, then you had a couple of your little exhibition games, then you had a couple of your little warm-up games at the beginning of the year to kind of figure out who you are. But by that time, you're 7 games in, and you know what I'm saying, you've kind of figured out who you are hitting your stretch. Now it's roll the balls out there and let's get it going. And like we said, it's been heavy hitting matchups like throughout all NCAA, and I'm loving every single bit of it.
Yeah, these kids the freshmen have to grow up really quickly. They haven't played highly competitive ball in 8-9 months. So that's a big factor as well. And, some kids didn't get to campus until July, August. So there's a lot of factors going in with this. And I don't think you can take anyone for face value. Now, come January, I think those excuses go out the window. But
absolutely,
right now, we're looking at a preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. We are. And I guess we'll go ahead and dive into it, because North Carolina, they lose today by 2 points, pretty much on a buzzer beater to Texas in the championship game at Maui. And I told you this the last podcast. I told you I didn't think that they would even get to the championship game. I thought that if they faced Stanford, that they would lose to Stanford. And low key, they found a way to win that game. I'll say this, and this has me very, very, very excited about my Tar Heels this year. We didn't make shots today. We lost by 2 points. Last year's team would have lost by 30, I think. In both of those games, in yesterday's game against Stanford, and in the game today against Texas.
So what's the biggest difference?
So the biggest difference is, I think we have talent on the floor that is capable of playing at this level.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, listen, Coach Williams said it last year. Hey, bro, this is the least talented team I've coached in forever. And he took shots for that. But and part of it is on him. The recruiting process that they did wasn't good.
Right.
This year, it's better. It's better. But what I also saw in this game was a lot of wasted possessions. And that bothered me a lot. That bothered me, man. Because I'm watching us be down 8 or down 7 with a chance to cut it, and we trick it off. Or the spacing isn't good enough for us to get the shot that we need, or it's a rush shot because of spacing and things like that. So I felt like there were a lot of wasted possessions in this game. But again, those are things that you clean up later on in the season. So hopefully, when we clean those up later on in the season, games like this turn into wins versus buzzer beater losses.
So when you're looking at things like bench points at 15, looking at only 10 points off of turnovers, and you're looking at only 9 fast break points, what does that say?
The 9 fast break points is a problem because North Carolina wants to get out. They want to play fast. Here it is. We'll go through it. Also, we completely dominated them on the glass.
Absolutely.
We out rebounded them by 50. We had 20 offensive rebounds to their 8. That's what North Carolina does. We made more free throws than they took. Perfect. That's what North Carolina does. We out rebounded them. Assists, we only had 6 assists. Don't like that. again, ball movement. We had 14 turnovers. I think we had like 11 in the first half.
Yes.
So only 3 in the second half, that kind of deal. So, okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. And that's why we were down by 10 at the half, that kind of deal. But 2 steals to their 10, transition points, only at 6. And then we were 1 for 9 from the 3-point line.
Yep.
So when you look at the numbers, and again, bench production, I'm okay with that. We had, what's that? 12, 15 points off of the bench.
Yeah.
And Day'Ron Sharpe played 16 minutes. I think we're having that fluctuation between how well Baycock is playing, how well Garrison is playing. So Day'Ron might not get the minutes that.
Hold on. You're hitting on something right now, because I don't think anyone expected. Well, I don't want to say anyone expected, but Baycock, I'm calling him the cleaner this year. Like, he cleans up everything down low. And to me, I'm not going to say that, but he's playing fantastic right now. Like, he's earning that starting spot.
Listen to me. I never doubted what Baycock could do. Never. Like, I saw him in AAU, and I saw what he did last year. I saw a tweet that you tweeted, and they was talking about how Garrison played last year out of necessity, that kind of deal. Yeah. And so, and we're going to speak to this too. We're going to talk. We're going to get back to the point of Garrison probably won't win ACC Player of the Year, but here's why: because of Baycock, because of Kessler, because of Day'Ron Sharpe. He has too many other pieces around him at his position for him to have the season numbers wise that he did last year. Even though this game he balled out. He had 18 and 7. Yeah. Need to get that to about 18 and 10, but I'm okay with 18 and 7. The piece, here's the piece that I've been kind of, the first couple games Andrew Playtech, I felt like he was taking Leaky's spot.
What do you mean?
I felt like he was, remember how we talked about Leaky Black being the glue guy, right? Being everything that we need.
Right.
I felt like Andrew Playtech was coming. I felt like he.
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. He came in and brought a spark.
He did. So and it excited me because Leaky, outside of the Stanford game, I think he had like 10 and 8. Yeah. This game he was 8 and 10. Yeah. I like those numbers. But I still feel like there is something missing in what we're doing. There is something missing. And whatever it is, if we can find it now, again, Caleb Love was 2 for 13. RJ Davis was 3 for 11. RJ Davis went to the basket one time, had a clean, smooth layup, and kicked that thing out for 3. And I said, boy.
Yeah. Oh my God. The simple shots. We're missing simple shots. Like, we are. For layups, they were 12 for 20 for layups. And to me, that's an issue because layups are easy. Right. They didn't have 0 dunks. Not that dunks are, expansive, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a simplicity of basketball. I feel like that's missing. UNC looks complicated. Like, you're looking at all these missed shots. You're looking at the turnovers. Like you said, the spacing, it just looks cluttered. I'm seeing Garrison too much at the top of the key. Like, why is he up there so much? Like, there's
so I will explain that part.
Okay.
So in Carolina's system, Carolina likes to do a kind of a high-low situation. For real, the 4-man is probably the most important piece or player in Carolina's offense because he dictates what play is going to be ran. When you come down as a point guard and you swing the ball to the 4-man, it is up to him what he does with the basketball that initiates the play. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So he has the ability to say, okay, I can read the floor. I can swing it this way and I go pick and roll. They're going to switch this. Now I got the mismatch in the post. They're going to play through me. Or I can swing it back this way. We can run a kickback. I come off of the screen. I might not get it, but we got a high-low action coming. Right. That kind of deal. So with Garrison being at the top of the floor, it means Coach Wills trusts him to figure out what we need to be in at that particular position. So that's why you see Garrison in the middle of the floor at the top of the key quite often, which honestly, out of all of the big men, he would be the one.
Yeah.
You're right. He would be the one. So that part is explained. The other spacing, it was one part on the floor. We had the ball on the wing, and all 5 guys was on that side of the basket.
Yeah.
I said, bro, what? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like there are little things that we are missing that I feel like turned the game for. Honestly, we should have won this game by 8 points.
Yeah, agreed.
We should have won the game by 8 points. And that's not having a preseason. I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about, guys not being in rhythm, all that kind of stuff. That's not that. That is literally, we should have won this game by 8 points because of spacing, understanding where you need to be on the floor, not cutting when a dude is driving, little things that we got to clean up.
So when Caleb Love says that when him and RJ are in together, they have to learn how to work as a system, what is confusing for the both of them whenever they're on the floor together that's not clicking?
So I think I would say right now, because Caleb is such a ball dominant guard, he has to learn how to play off of the ball. But that is tough because the offense doesn't necessarily dictate a swing type of mentality to where he can catch and go, where he's making a quick decision, or he can catch it and come off of a pick and roll because of the spacing.
Right.
Like in secondary, you have your spacing. You have where everybody's supposed to be. But in our regular offense, there isn't much of that. There is a lot of just pass and move. And sometimes I feel like we cut and we're moving without any rhyme or reason, so to speak.
Also, so when you're looking at points in the paint, they only had 36. Is that, I mean, is that good or bad? I mean, it's almost half of their total, but should there be more points in the paint, or is that efficient at 36?
I'm okay with 36. What? Yeah, that's more than half of our points.
Yeah.
And then what? The other third of it came from the free throw line.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. And it shows us, and it continues to show that we are, again, inside out team first. And that's what we're definitely gonna be this year. But at the end of the day, our guards do have to make shots. We haven't made shots yet in all 4 games.
I was just about to say that. So if you're Carolina, you're going back to practice. What are you working on? What's the first thing that you're working on at practice?
For me, it's spacing. You understanding where guys need to be on the floor. Like honestly, if I don't have a post up, then I shouldn't be on the block. Get to the short corner. Get to the dunker spot. Like, or if I'm passing the ball and I'm not in the plate and I'm in the corner, I need to be deep corner.
Right.
Like these are, I'm telling you, it's fine tuning little things inside of North Carolina's offense that will open the floor up for Caleb Love, for RJ Davis, for your shooters. Closeouts are going to be a little longer. That's another thing we've been doing too. We ain't been guarding the 3-ball well. So we need to get to that at practice. And then outside of that, I maybe shoot a little bit more. I don't know.
That's I don't know. Thing. And from, just hearing the rumors from practice and the people that they brought in, I was expecting high shooting from Carolina. And like no one has impressively done well
from beyond arc. Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're hearing your Kerwins are your best shooters, your RJs and Caleb's, and I'm not seeing anything. So why is it becoming acclimated to college ball, or is it
absolutely
okay?
Absolutely. Okay. It is becoming acclimated.
You're playing better players. I'm assuming
that, and it is a lot tougher to go from high school, because the high school line is right on the arc, right at the, top of the key. I forget how many feet it is, but those extra 3 feet that you got to shoot from behind from high school to college. I don't care how much you think you Steph Curry in high school, that line make a difference.
Okay.
Like that line makes a difference. So you have to get acclimated to that. You have to start understanding, all right, I'm playing you ain't playing in the gym full of nobody now, but you're playing in the empty gym, you're bringing your own energy. Mm-hmm. So the shots that are going to be made or taken are going to feel a little bit different. So I don't know, but I hope we start to make shots at a much better clip than what we have been shooting over the last 4 games.
So when you're looking at Carolina basketball and these freshmen, there's 7 freshmen. Is there, of course, there's always weight that comes with Carolina because it's not just like, you're not playing for just anybody. You're playing for one of the most prolific college basketball programs of all time. With the pressure from that included, people's expectations. And then you also, you think about your chances in the draft. It's just so much going on in a freshman's head, especially when you think about a Caleb Love, who everyone just has these high expectations for. And he even said himself that he has to get out his own head and that they're pressing too much. Him and RJ, they're pressing too much. How do you get them to relax as a coach, or even as a teammate? How do you get them to stay in the moment and stifle everything else?
That's exactly it. They have to stay in the moment. And the only way that you can get them to do that is for them to do that themselves. Like I can remember this very vividly. My senior year in North Carolina, it was the first time that I had ever really thought about what was next. So my senior year in North Carolina, we went to Virginia, and we played, and we ended up losing that game. And afterwards, the reporters came to me, and I broke down. Like I broke down crying because I had a bad game. But it was the first time, like in my whole entire career, that I thought me having a bad game was going to affect me going to the NBA draft. And that was the first time I had ever thought about it. And I'm like, why would I? But subconsciously, it had been in the back of my mind for like the last 2 games. And I played like some trash those 2 games. And we ended up losing to Virginia. And again, so, and from that point forward, I remember going and having a meeting with Coach Williams, and Coach Williams sent me down and was like, hey man, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. Like all you can do is do what you can do now. And from that point forward, it was like, you know what, Dave? Like, why are we worried about tomorrow when we haven't even finished today?
Yeah.
So I started trying to play each game in that moment. And literally, that's really all they can do. They can't worry about March and April and May and June if they're going to get drafted and all that kind of stuff, because they have to do it now. Like what they do now, it probably won't affect down the road too much. Like if you look at some of the players that have come through North Carolina, your Nasir Littles, your Cole Anthonys, who they assume coming in were going to be top 5 picks. But trust me, these GMs and all that kind of stuff, they already know what they want out of these players. Like they know who these players are. So they're not gonna like hold too much crazy weight on a successful or an unsuccessful year in college. You know what I'm saying? So I think what they have to do is they have to sit back, they have to say, hey man, listen, we're at the University of North Carolina. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm playing college basketball right now when nobody thought that we was even going to play. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to go from there. But everybody doesn't think Caleb Love is a one and done.
I have noticed that. I've been hearing a lot of people think he's going to stay about 2 years, but I still don't.
Yeah, I don't either, but we'll see. I'm you know what? The only reason why I'm mad we lost to Texas is because of Greg Brown.
Yes.
That's the only reason why.
But he didn't even play that well. So I mean,
he didn't. He didn't, but he get the last laugh because they won.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And for those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about with the Greg Brown story, so Cade Cunningham, who was the number 1 player in the country, who's at Oklahoma State, him and Greg Brown, they were talking about going to school together, and his father said that North Carolina didn't do a great job of recruiting them. And so, there was this big story about how they were set to come to Carolina, but then Carolina just kind of went cold on the recruiting and all that kind of stuff. And so, and then he said, we hope we see them because we gonna beat them good. So that's kind of where, again, if you don't know the story, it's all over the internet. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. but that's kind of what we're talking about. But again, Greg Brown did get the last laugh because he was, his team was victorious. So he kind of got his little, I guess, payback or whatever the case may be. But but for me, I'm the type of person I like to hear both sides of the story.
Yeah.
And so to hear that side from the Greg Brown family, the Brown family, excuse me, like that's tough though. That's tough because unless you just didn't want Greg Brown. And
where would you put Greg Brown on this roster?
But think about this though. If you got Greg Brown, you probably wouldn't have I don't know, somebody else. If you had Cade Cunningham, you probably don't bring in a Kerwin Walton. Don't bring.
Okay, so let's talk about a recruiting right quick, because if you, it's a race to me, because
it is a race.
I mean, whoever commits first. It is what it is, because
that's not always true though.
So you're telling me, I think it was Walker Kessler who was supposed to go to Duke, but he flipped and went to Carolina. And that was a shocker for a lot of people because they weren't expecting him to choose UNC. I think Walker Kessler impacted Coach Williams on recruiting Greg Brown and them, because I mean, if you have Walker.
Right. So again, if that's the case, you take that. So again, if I'm a parent, and I know that I want to go to North Carolina. Now, again, a lot of players, they want to set dates and they want to be like, I'm announcing mine on, July 30th, all that weak mess, whatever, man. If you know that you want to go to a school, go ahead and commit. Like, stop playing around, because that's what happens. A joker slide in your spot, and now you sitting there sick and salty. But here, I will say this. If you have a kid like Greg Brown, who you feel like is a top-notch player that can help your program, and you have him, not versus a Walker Kessler, because that's they on the same tier. But if you have him versus a Kerwin Walton, you kind of hold off on Kerwin Walton. You say, hey, I appreciate you want to come, but we're gonna wait a little bit.
But Kerwin Walton, he was the last to commit for this class. Like, he committed way late.
Right, way late. You're right. You're right about that. But what I'm saying, I'm just thinking outside the box when it comes to understanding the recruiting process. So you're right. It is a race, but coaches do have the ability to say, I appreciate you, but hold on. let's wait till July 30, whatever, after this kid say where he gonna go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but most coaches don't do that. Most coaches go ahead and accept most coaches don't do that. But I'm saying some coaches do, or all coaches reserve that right. But most coaches go ahead and accept, the commitment from the player that they're committing to. But every coach has a board now. I don't care what they tell you.
I'm sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at each position. If number 5 want to commit, but number 1 talking about hold on, because you gonna hold on. You gonna hold on. Because again, like, people gotta understand. Now, I mean, I ain't gonna say Coach Williams is tied to this, but and most of the Blue Blood coaches, but a lot of these coaches are tied to, like, the recruiting class that they can bring in. So their future is held upon 18 to 22-year-olds. So, like, you're going to do the best that you can in recruiting now.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for Carolina. I don't have any points to make. I think we hit all of them with that game.
Yeah.
So, but Carolina plays Iowa next.
I'm
number 3. They're number 3.
Like I told you, I don't think we went through it last with what I say. I think they ain't gonna end up about 7 losses.
You don't think they can beat Iowa?
I do think they can beat Iowa, but here's the thing: Iowa is very good, well coached. They have a very, very dominant big man. If we try to play him one-on-one, it is going to be a long night for Carolina. We got to do something else. Like, we got to do something. I get it. We got like 7, 8, 9, 10 big men. That's cool. That's fine. That's dandy. But we can't let that man get off, bro. We can't let him get off. And if we let him get off, I'm telling you now, it's going to be a long night for North Carolina. Long night.
Well, that game is on Tuesday, December 8th at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. And Carolina's game against Elon has been postponed. It may just be canceled because I don't see where you fit that game back in. It's supposed to be December 12th at home in Chapel Hill because of COVID.
Why was it postponed?
COVID.
From Elon's side?
Mm-hmm.
I missed that. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, so they have to do a 14-day quarantine period, and that kind of impacts their game against Duke and Carolina. So 2 ACC teams they won't get to play against.
Hey, man, listen to this. Look at Garza right there is averaging 33 and a half points. Bro, if he have 33 on us, I'm telling you, man.
How tall
is he? Listen, I try to, huh?
How tall is he?
Look, is he 6'11"? 6'11", 265. Oh, he's a problem now. They compare him to Tyler Hansbrough.
They compare Walker Kessler to Tyler Hansbrough too.
No, they don't. They just say he rebounds kind of like Tyler. He's more of an Eric Montross that can shoot to me.
Heard.
He's more of an Eric Montross that can shoot it to me. But his ability to rebound the basketball without getting over the backs is absolutely phenomenal. I am a huge fan of Walker Kessler. He is going to be a problem down the road for the University of North Carolina. And if he stays all 4 years, we have our center position locked up for the next 4 years if he decides to stay.
I'm calling it. If this team stays, I only see maybe 2, at the most 3 people leaving. This is a championship team. If not next year, definitely year 3.
I don't necessarily know about like our class next year.
You get Danielle Styles and my kid out of Fayetteville.
Yeah, but that's it. And I think we got what, 1 scholarship left, maybe 2.
Chet
ain't coming.
I saw him play, and my goodness,
he a problem, ain't he? I told you he a problem.
Anyone who gets Chet and gets him in the weight room, my lord. You don't want to
he's a one and done. He's a one and done. They ain't gonna be
able to get in the weight room.
Yeah, he will get in the weight room, but he's a one and done. He won't. And that's if they don't change the rule. That joker might not be going to school. He might take the G League path.
I don't see him. I see him going to school. I think he's a college kid.
I agree. I do agree he's a college kid, but you just never know nowadays. But for me, if he can, I'm a huge fan of Chet. I done told the Chet story on here a few times, but I'm a huge fan of Chet. I don't see him coming to North Carolina. I hope he does, as all these schools are hoping to get the #1 player in the nation. But at the end of the day, I think his skill set is probably a little bit different than what North Carolina is used to. And again, I said on this show before that North Carolina, for me, he would fit North Carolina's system, and he would think about this. If you had him and Walker Kessler as your starting 4 and 5.
Yeah.
With his ability to get the ball off of the rim and push it himself.
Yeah.
Like, and so where do you play him? Do you play him like a KD? Do you play him as a post, like a stretch 4 kind of deal? Like, so he gives you all of that type of freedom.
He does.
You can run the pick and roll with him.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's all about, and you know what, my guy, shout out to Jawad Williams, man. He made a great point this year, and he said, most guys coming in are looking to go to the league so fast that they forget how to play college basketball. And I think that's what you're seeing a lot of this year. And I think these kids, just like, RJ Davis, Caleb Love, they have to live in the moment. Yeah. Live in the moment. Be a college player first, and then go get your bread in the NBA. But while you're here, kind of live in the moment.
I do think these kids are growing up way, 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 way too fast.
That's what social media area.
I was just about to say it's full social media, because I was watching even just watching high school basketball, I'm like, these are kids. Like they just feel like adults. They feel older than me. And I'm looking at
Absolutely.
Mikey, and Mikey's a sophomore. I'm like, there's no way
Right.
that kid is a sophomore, from the way he speaks to the way he carries himself to even like, you know, him looking older than what he does. I'm like, it's insane to me how these kids aren't kids anymore. And it sucks because it even sucks worse this year because we're in a pandemic and they don't even get the full college experience. So
Right.
now it's just
Right.
really, you know,
Like, why do I need to be here?
exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it like that, but I mean,
Yeah.
kind of, I don't want to say a pointless year, but I really feel for a lot
It
of
technically is a pointless year because everybody gets this year for free.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Everybody gets this year for free. So, and people forget that too. You know what I'm saying? Like this year, as pointless as it is, it means a lot. Because if you do get this year for free, then so now North Carolina does look better next year.
Yeah.
What if everybody wants to come back? What if everybody like, you know what? But you know, I guess again, we talked to, you know, Trent Forrest about this, about, you know, the class that's coming in next, and you know, like those things are going to come into play on a lot of different campuses. Yeah. And speaking of, bro, what's the kid from Texas name, man? Matt Coleman, bro. Bro, I could have sworn that man. Yeah. I could have sworn that man graduated 6 years ago. Nice. Bro, how long he been at Texas, bro? Bro, when I turned on the game, I said, wait a minute, is he still there? Bro, that man been at Texas for, it's been 8 years. Yeah. I feel like it's been 8 years. They cheating.
Yeah, he's 22, so.
Yeah, this is senior year. Yeah. He must have redshirted a year or something.
Let's check it out right quick, see if we can get Matt Coleman roster.
Yep, this is his 5th year.
Yeah. No, he came from Oak Hill.
No, this is his 4th year. I'm tripping. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, no red shirts.
That's crazy, bro. I could have sworn he was there.
A heck of a career, though.
Yeah. He been killing. Yeah. He been balling for them for quite a bit now.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
He started.
It feels like 5 though.
Played and started 101 of a possible 102 games his first 3 years.
Mm-hmm. He already 1,000-point scorer.
Yeah. Me and you both looking. Yeah, he's a star.
Yeah. And he killed us with that step back today.
Listen. Why Carolina? That's what Carolina is missing. There's no, like, I don't know. Like we said.
What you gonna say? Go ahead.
Just, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Go ahead and say what you gonna say right there. Because go ahead.
I don't know why this just feels hard for them. Like I want it to be simpler, and there's just no shots being made. When you look at Texas making those easy shots, that fadeaway jumper that Coleman had at the end, like Carolina doesn't have that. Like
if you take me through that last play, what do you see from Texas versus what you will ever see from North Carolina? Oh my God. A simple answer.
I really want to get this right. What?
He cleared out the floor. He had the whole half of the floor to play with. For whatever reason, we didn't make him pass the basketball. For whatever reason.
I think I had him on that part, yeah.
You know, but here, spacing.
I knew you.
That's it. North Carolina can't create because their spacing is so bad. Like they got guys all on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like even in the post, like when you think it's one-on-one, like he go another dude cutting, like again, like space the floor. Like I think that's the biggest piece. But he cleared them out. He had the whole left side of the floor to play with, going right. Hit him with a step back, cash.
Yeah.
And there's nobody in sight to help off or to stunt or to make the shot more difficult.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Like it's plays like that again we have to do better later on in the season. And I feel like they will. They'll get there. They're freshmen right now.
Yeah.
They don't understand, loading to the ball. But they do understand it because the coach works on it every day in practice. So they'll get better. They'll get better.
But what else, final question about what?
I'm just watching some of the highlights and just looking at this, and I'm like, oh God. but again, we lost by 2 points on the buzzer beater at that. But again, we should have won the game by 8.
I do not know. I had the perfect question for you to end this segment. What do you say? No, you're fine because you kind of already hinted at it with saying that this team last year would have lost by 30.
Mm-hmm.
What good did Carolina do? Because they fought. Like
right.
For a minute there, I just knew this game was a wrap, but they came back multiple times and only lost by 2. So what is the good in all of this?
I say you do have a few dogs on your team. You got, and again, you have the talent now. You have the talent to make the plays. The piece of it is getting them in the position that the plays that they're making can be a little bit easier.
Right.
Like right now, I feel like everything that North Carolina does is tough as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like right now, we averaging like 60-something points.
Yeah.
That ain't North Carolina basketball. North Carolina basketball averages about 80, 90.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we ain't been there. I don't think we've been there in a couple of years for real.
Yeah.
And so things just aren't as easy as they should be for North Carolina. And one of the reasons why is because of the spacing, but also we don't have the shooting that we've had in the past.
So, okay, one more and then I'm done. So when you're looking at how the time between games, does that impact anything? Because Carolina plays Iowa next Tuesday, and after that they don't play again until I truly want to say, I want to do it the right way. Hold on.
I got you.
They don't play again until the 19th. Yeah. So they got like 11 days, almost 2 weeks off. Does that also impact, them finding that chemistry that Carolina needs too? Because the chemistry and the shots that they're missing.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to take this game and they'll be able to see, like, listen, look how close we were to winning. Look how close we were to winning the Maui Invitational, the championship game of the Maui Invitational. And you can even go back to the Stanford game too, because there was plenty of things in that game that they ended up overcoming in that game that they didn't in the Texas game.
Also, so now they started down, but
but I don't ever think about this. Anytime a team jumps out to a huge lead, it's always a game by halftime. Like I don't ever pay attention to a team jumping out 13-0, 15-0, 20-0, because guess what? The tide is going to change back to what it's supposed to be, and it'll be a game by halftime. In most cases. If you ever notice that team jumps out big, it's a 5-point game by halftime, if that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay. I'm okay with that part of it. But the Stanford game, you can go back and say, hey, listen, this is what we did. We were able to overcome these things to win this game, but this is why we can't do this, because now you got the Texas game. Same thing y'all did. We couldn't make shots and we turnovers and all that kind of stuff against Stanford. Because remember, I picked Stanford to beat us.
Yeah, you did.
Like, we ended up overcoming it, but now you got the Texas game. And now the Texas game shows you why you can't do what you did in the Stanford game.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I'm hoping that the practice time they get off, because again, like you said, the game with Elon is postponed, maybe even canceled. You got Iowa coming up here in the Big Ten classes, and that's at Iowa.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be a really good game to test who we are, because at one point in the game, I thought Texas was punking us, and I said, bro, we're a little soft,
mm-hmm.
but we woke up a little bit.
Yeah.
We woke up a little bit. We didn't wake up the way that I don't know. Like, we didn't wake up the way that I wanted us to wake up, but we made it a game, and that's okay. That's okay. You ain't got to punch everybody in the face.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we got punched in the face, and for me, I wanted them to punch back, but they slapped them. So I'm okay with a slap. You know what I'm saying? Like I want a 2-piece. If you hit me with one bow, ooh, 2-piece, bow out. They got hit bow, and then they was like, man, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Right. But at least they fought back. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so who does this team need going forward? Like who needs to be like, all right, it's time to.
It ain't changed. Leaky freaking black.
Heard.
Leaky.
Well, it's leaky. Coach has with Stanford, he made the final playoffs with Stanford, and he actually tied the game for Carolina in against Texas. Both games he was fantastic defensively. Coach even praised him, saying he was sensational, and that Leaky continues to be a premier defensive player. But what is Leaky missing?
So right now, I think it is. So again, I completely agree with Coach's sentiments. He has been fantastic. It is up for our guards to make shots. So once our guards start making shots, then I feel like that opens up the floor even more for Leaky.
Right.
Because then Leaky, so again, 8-10, 10-8 the game before. Again, I like those numbers. But we can be so much better than that. Again, we only averaging 60-something points right now.
Right.
I feel like we can get to 80 easily with the bigs that we have, with the guards that we have, and with Leaky Black being very, very efficient. Again, so we're not missing where we are missing. We got shots. We're missing making shots. But the person is still continuously Leaky Black.
Heard.
And again, I thought Andrew Playtech was gonna come in and do something, but
yeah, he played for 6 minutes with 0 points.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what that was about though.
Yeah,
because he played decently against.
Yeah,
but well, whatever, we'll see. Where the tide goes sometimes.
Carolina's next game is against Iowa next Tuesday on ESPN at 7:30 for the Big Ten Classic. Now we're looking into the ACC, NCAA as a whole. What team or player has shocked you so far?
It's the team, honestly. And that team is Virginia Tech for me.
I was going to say the same thing.
Hey, that team, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know Virginia Tech is good, but I didn't see this. I didn't see this. I didn't. And I'll be completely honest with that. I didn't see this. But I am pleasantly surprised by what Virginia Tech has been able to do. And again, with COVID and all that kind of stuff, and with not having a preseason and all that kind of stuff, they've come out and played, man. And I like what I see from Virginia Tech.
Yeah. I like Mike Young. I think he's a fantastic coach, and I think he's a player's coach. He just got Virginia Tech last year from Wofford, and he had a player follow him. And Kiva Aluma?
Yeah. Aluma. I think it's Aluma.
Yeah, but just in the first 3 games, he's averaging 18 points and 6 of 9 from three. So Virginia Tech.
Because Wofford always gets players who are very capable of playing in the ACC, and man, because of Mike Young, they go to a Wofford, and they exceed expectations. But they are very much capable of playing in the ACC. He had plenty of players like that at Wofford, and for him to come to Virginia Tech, it's no surprise that he's doing the job that he's done with better players. I mean, hell, he dominated while he was at Wofford.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that they're. Let me say, it doesn't surprise me that he can coach. Like he's been a great coach. I think it is surprising me that they're doing so well at the beginning of this season.
Yeah. But
it's surprising me because I don't know what they were picked in the ACC, but I feel like they're gonna blow that out the water.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. You are. So looking at the ACC, there are 7 teams remaining undefeated. Louisville is the only
Duke
one
ain't one of.
no, they're not. But Louisville is the only team that is 4-0. I think they're the only one who has played a complete season so far. But yeah, Virginia Tech is 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Virginia
I
Tech
yeah.
shocked Villanova.
Yeah, they did. That was a good game.
Yes, it
That was
was.
a really good game.
And they play tomorrow against VMI at 8 p.m. So that should be an easy win for them.
Yeah, they'll beat VMI. I hope they just don't slip up and do nothing stupid like lose to VMI. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're riding on this high horse, and like you're exceeding expectations. You're playing well. I hope they just don't let go of the reins and overlook like a VMI and mess around and lose to them. Like, so I think who did that? Kentucky did that. Nah, Liberty's pretty good. I can't. Or Richmond, excuse me. They beat Richmond beat them. I can't say that. I can't say that. So yeah.
Can we give
We'll
a
see.
shout out to Juan Dixon, former Maryland superstar? First of all, what he did against Duke, he had them on their toes there for a minute. Even though Duke won, Coppin State wasn't going away. But they played Virginia Tech December 19th. You know, Juan getting these ACC teams to play them it's pretty big. So that's my point. Playing two big ACC teams who are highly ranked. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's playing lower level teams. But yeah, I'm interested to see this Coppin State and Virginia Tech game on December 19th. So,
are you interested because you think it's going to be a game, or are you interested because it's?
Well, for one, it being an HBCU, I believe, isn't Coppin State an HBCU? I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For it being an HBCU playing against an ACC team, and I want to see, what Juan Dixon, how he improves over the next 2-3 weeks.
I think
if you can hang with Duke, I think he can hang with Virginia Tech. Might not, but I don't think Virginia Tech is better than Duke. Do you think so? Oh my goodness! Maybe.
I put something on my Instagram earlier, and I said I'll take basketball IQ over talent any day. If you got both, perfect. But for me, I'm choosing basketball IQ. And right now, and I've only watched Duke play once, and they didn't make shots this game against Michigan State, but I feel like Virginia Tech has a lot of talented, high basketball IQ players with a great coach. That is dangerous.
Well, Virginia Tech doesn't meet another ranked team until January 2nd. So, and that's against Virginia. That's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, don't sleep on that Clemson game though. Don't sleep on that Clemson game because Clemson, right before Coppin State, they play them on the 15th. Yeah. So, because again, ACC play is going to be very, very tough this year. I think ACC play this year is going to be like one of those type joints where you lose one game, you can fall from first place to 7th place. I think that's how tight the ACC is going to be this year. And I hope it's that tight. And, then I don't see one team running away with it. So, like you said, this will be – I'm excited to see Florida State play. I still haven't watched them yet.
I am too.
So.
They haven't played yet.
Yeah, no,
they're playing now. On the against North Florida.
Yeah, North Florida, No, they don't. Yeah, they just kicked it off. Yeah. They just kicked it off. Matter of fact, I'm gonna need to turn that on soon.
Yeah. And then I think we had who's your player of the week or the player of the week. First week of basketball.
I don't know if I'll give it to him. I don't know if he's my player of the week, but he is a player that I am excited to watch. But I'll give him player of the week too. Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga. Mm-hmm. Like, and I had the pleasure of watching him for the last couple of years as assistant and then head coach of Team Felton on the Under Armour circuit. So I've had the pleasure of watching him for the last couple of years. And so he was on that team with Chet. So, like, again, most of the time, getting a chance to watch him, I knew he was good, but I think Gonzaga was the perfect fit for him. Perfect. And for me, Gonzaga is the team to beat, even though they down right now to West Virginia by 5 at the end of the first half. But I think Gonzaga is the team to beat this year, and we'll see what they do with it throughout the year.
Now, we said a player that we're most excited to see or develop, and shut up.
Who is it?
I'm gonna say Caleb, only because
Caleb who?
Don't do this. You know,
we need to know who you're talking about.
You know, I have faith that exceeds a lot of people's faith in players. But I want to see how Caleb develops. I want to see how he rises to the occasion. Caleb left for Carolina because David is David. And I think he played pretty well. Today's game wasn't his best.
I was gonna say.
No, today's game wasn't his best, but I do think he's learning, and I want to see how he progresses over the next couple of weeks. Talk to me back at the end of December, see if I change it. You know, there's always one player I'm rooting for.
You ain't lying. I guess he's gonna be your Kenny Williams this year. Because I am excited to see what Caleb does as well. I am hopeful.
I think listen, he has a lot of weight on his shoulders. I mean, he comes from he's from Missouri or St. Louis, and you know, his coach was Jason Tatum's dad, and you know, I think there's just a lot of weight on him. And I think once I don't know. You know, with you're a freshman with all these expectations, and then we're in the COVID year. It's a lot going on. So
listen, man, basketball is basketball.
I know, but still, a kid is a kid. I mean, at the end of the day, right. And he has a lot of growing up to do, and I think that he has to learn a lot with this Carolina team, playing with RJ Davis, and you know, finding his shot and things like that. So
to me, I think he has to. To me, it's again for me. And this is again, it's possibly me being a little critical a little bit, but I think North Carolina has to do a better job of putting him in a position to maximize what he does best. He's a bucket.
He is.
He's a bucket.
He is.
But I don't think it goes back to the spacing that I see on the floor, like. And then you have two bigs in that are clogging up the paint. Mm-hmm. So
So then do you also have to think about how you also play Garrison and Armando, because it looks like they're playing the same position on the floor a little bit. Like you can't really tell a difference between them, and they're climbing on top of each other. So
that's true.
So not only do we have to think about, you know, how Caleb and RJ, you know, who's running what at what point, but do you think that Coach Williams has to define Armando and Garrison's role when they're playing together? Because to me, it's a little different when Armando and Day'Ron are together. It's a vast difference in how they play. But I don't know why. To me, it looks like Garrison and Armando aren't just like, I don't know. I don't know
if it's like, you know, we have to define roles more so in every now and then. Don't post up, get out, hit a pick and roll, everybody else space out. Like I really do think it's that simple. I think Caleb Love and RJ Davis have the ability to be able to run a pick and roll and make plays for their teammates and also make plays for themselves. I think the piece of it is when you have whether it's Armando, whether it's Garrison, whether it's Day'Ron Shaw, whether it's Walker Kessler, all of them in the paint at the same time, and both literally are just taking up both blocks. Yeah. Then when I'm a flash high post, but the paint is always clogged. They again, nobody spaces to the dunker spot, short corner. Nobody. It's always a big moving around in the paint. So there's no room to drive and even when they drive, like I watched it yesterday, Caleb, or maybe it was RJ, he drove baseline and Walker just stayed there and posted up. Like he didn't release his post up and get to the middle of the floor to give an outlet pass. So the only pass that he had was to the corner, and he couldn't make that pass because somebody had cut it off. So there again, when I say it's little things, it is absolutely little things that can help North Carolina's offense and help these kids be able to maximize some of their talents. And that's why I'm not fearful of the development of RJ or Caleb throughout this time. I think once we start making shots, the rest of that will kind of open up. Because right now, everybody's just packing the paint on us because they know we're an inside-out team. And if we can start making shots, then I think that'll help.
So confidence. Confidence is a key word here that we're looking at.
There it is.
Heard. All right, well, that's it for me. That's a good week 1 wrap up for Carolina and the ACC and the NCAA. Can't say what games we're looking forward to because it's next Tuesday. We'll have a podcast out by then, ideally.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so anything else that we left on the table that needs to be discussed? Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good.
Did we have a podcast since Thanksgiving?
We didn't.
Yeah.
It was good. Just me, my mom, and my stepdad, and that's it.
Everybody Thanksgiving was a little slim this year, bro. Yeah. We did the whole Zoom thing. It was so whack. I hated every bit of it. But
I'm sure.
The food was good. So I'm okay with that. You know, still eating off them leftovers. I'm about to go eat me some ham now.
It's time. Throw them leftovers out. It's been a week.
And the way I grew up from, you don't waste no food.
I was done Monday. Ain't but so much you can just eat of the same food.
Absolutely, it is.
Oh, God.
I got some tater salad in there that I'm finna go tackle.
Tater salad.
Some macaroni and cheese I'm finna go tackle, and a good old ham.
Sounds good though.
It's great. Every single time. Microwave does wonders. Bang.
All right, David. Yeah, go ahead and close it out. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us on another edition of the Player and the Fan, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. Again, send in your questions that we can tackle. Send in all kind of stuff to us. Y'all know my joint at Instagram is at David Anthony Noel III and Quierra Luck. Hit us up, man. And, you know, we'll tackle some of your questions and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll go from there. But thank y'all for listening again. Quierra, you good?
You know what? Hold on. Let me say this. I low-key want to bring back on the mamas and get... Miss Cam has been like on Twitter, and I really want to get her back up here. Like,
what's she been saying on Twitter? I need to follow Miss Tam. I need to follow Mama Tam.
Look, she is about to pull up on a couple people. Like, talk about her son. Oh, negative. She is about to pull up from Alabama on everybody.
Yeah, you don't play them games. Ain't nobody been talking about my son. And that's another thing too, man. People gotta understand, man. These kids, man.
Yes.
They kids, man. Like, they ain't professionals. They ain't getting paid for this. So just be a fan of your team. Like, you can be mad at the game, but you can't be mad at like a specific player or team. And I know that's tough to do. But at the end of the day, you know, tailor your tongue sometime, man. And don't be so brave. Don't be so brave behind them thumbs.
Yeah, at that point, because people will pull up.
Yeah. I'll be happy to tell people that, bro. Stay in your lane, man. Don't be out here just doing all that crazy mess, man. That's good stuff, though. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we holla.